Gasoline is a pretty profitable niche, and many people want to heat up on it hands. Especially sharply this question was raised in Mexico. First and foremost, it is a country of drug dealers, but in recent years, the cartels have decided to take control of your fuel, or rather, almost openly stealing it. López Obrador is the president of Mexico from December 1, 2018 began to struggle with theft of fuel. The victory he achieved. But the war took the lives of many civilians. The illegal theft of gasoline. In Mexico, unauthorized fence of fuel called huicoloa. The first theft was recorded 30 years ago, but the problem was the last few years. Currently, 10 states of Mexico disrupted the supply of gasoline in gas stations and the capital's gas stations. Desperate residents of Tlahualilo, state of Hidalgo, has decided to provide itself with fuel alone. As a result of illegal tapping into the pipeline, which received the fuel, January 19, 2019 was a strong explosion. It claimed the lives of 135 people, many were injured and received severe burns. On the same day, the fire near the pipeline occurred in the state of Querétaro. The first thing that took López Obrador as president fight against corruption and theft of gasoline. It is because of fuel theft in Mexico observed a large-scale financial losses. In 2018, the state lost approximately $3 billion. While the civilian population continues to suffer from a lack of fuel, mainly theft engaged in by criminal groups. Obrador mobilized army, navy, and police to fight huicoloa. But the petrol mafia began to actively resist the government, and as a result of this conflict many people died. The war on Santa Rosa de Lima and Jalisco New Generation. The first who began active and loud to protest against López Obrador, Antonio Yepes, nickname El Mero. Cartel Santa Rosa de Lima, the leader of which he was not involved in drugs, but in large quantities of stolen gasoline. And once started anti-corruption program, the president has threatened mass murder and gift on the Pemex refinery. First confrontation was on the level of threat, but because the government did not remove from the streets the army, El Mero got down to business. His gang started to block the road and attack patrols. The explosives, the promised gift, was in the van next to the plant of the state company Petróleos Mexicanos. A petrol mafia also threatened the journalists, who investigated the theft of fuel. They kidnapped Daniel Blancas, beat him severely, and then released. Threatened Viennas Batras. In a bar in Salamanca on March 9, 2019 were fired at leisure. This has led to the death of 15 people. According to one version, this action was a protest against the president, and the second people were injured in a shootout between the Santa Rosa de Lima and Jalisco New Generation. The founders of the cartel Jalisco New Generation was Martin Arzola Ortega, Nemesio Oseguera Ramos and Eric Valencia. Its main activity is drugs. The gang is primarily interested in the capture of cities and the elimination of competitors' drug dealers. The theft of gasoline is additional income. Cartel Santa Rosa de Lima, they were united for one purpose only: to win the state a place in the sun, that is, not to lose free fuel. And once cooperation will become unprofitable, they will drop the partners. If Santa Rosa de Lima will go the way, we'll start a war. For the government's enemy number one is a cartel of El Mero. For the capture of Antonio Yepes promised a high reward. But while the leader is at large and continues to subversion, because gasoline is the only significant source of income.